Are you listening? I was an explorer once. Captain Sam Stone of the Surveyor.
Old good times when enemies were real enemies, and the danger was real danger, and you had to have fast reflexes and know what you are doing.
It was good. No, it was awesome.
So it's all about making that thing believable, making you feel like you're actually there during this huge intergalactic fight. But as I said, everything in Serious Sam 4 has been scaled up, so you're fighting hundreds of enemies coming at you at the same time at any given point. So it's going to be pure chaos.
Serious Sam 4 marks the latest chapter in the Serious Sam saga, and in today's interview, we'll dive into what's new with Serious Sam 4, how the Legion system offers the ability to fight over 100,000 enemies, along with discussing how a company founded by 6 friends making video games in a garage has grown to become such a treasured developer among video game fans around the world. Buckle up as we get you ready for Serious Sam 4. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nerf Report. My name is Bryant, and today we are joined with a very special guest. We have the team behind the Serious Sam 4. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome to the show Damian and Daniel. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us, Bryant.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, yeah.
Now, for someone who isn't 100% familiar with Serious Sam, how would you describe the game to them?
Mayhem.
Yeah.
In one word.
Absolute mayhem.
Yeah, well, it's a first-person shooter. That is actually a throwback to the old good times when enemies were real enemies, and the danger was real danger, and you had to have fast reflexes and know what you are doing to survive. So it's a bit of a throwback and a nod to the classic first-person shooters like Wolfenstein, Doom, stuff like that. Just with 10 and 100 times more enemies.
Yeah, I was sharing with Daniel before we got started that I got introduced to the first 3 because of the Stadia Pro membership. And immediately when I jumped in, I felt like I got transported back to that old school gameplay. And I was like, this is what I've been missing in my life. I was like, I can't wait to jump back into this. And there definitely is a place in the industry for games like that. With Serious Sam 4, where do we find Sam Stone? I mean, how much further along in the story is it? How long after Serious Sam 3 does it take place?
So funny thing is, we actually don't do sequels. Okay. It's become a tradition for us to only do prequels. So Serious Sam 4 is actually before Serious Sam 3. So it doesn't go further, it goes backwards.
All right. So that's before he gets all damaged and war-torn, and he's kind of a nice guy in this game, or is he still a little, little rugged?
I mean, he was always a nice guy. He is a bit rugged, but he's
always rugged
now. Much younger now. This is in kind of the beginning of the invasion of Earth, so he's fighting to keep the Earth going, I guess.
Okay. So will we get to see like the actual invasion day when it started in the game?
I believe we are several weeks into the invasion of France here.
Okay.
In this game, so wait for the Serious Sam 5 to go even further back in time, But yeah. you will see quite a lot. How was it on the Earth in the beginning of the Mental's invasion? So should be fun.
Now, one of the big things that I've been reading about this game is the Legion system, and I don't know how much you guys can talk about it, but as I understand, it's pretty much going to make this game feel like nothing that I've ever been played before, just in the terms of enemy count, correct?
In general, Serious Sam 4 is much bigger in scale than any other Serious Sam game that we released so far. But in terms of Legion system, it's something that allows us to create believable battlefields. So what we've done with this is you're not actually going to fight 100,000 enemies if you don't want to. The point of that is we created this battlefield where 2 huge armies are clashing, and these 2 guys, Sam on one side and the big baddie on the other side, are battling it out. So it's all about making that thing believable, making you feel like you're actually there during this huge intergalactic fight. But as I said, everything in Serious Sam 4 has been scaled up, so even beyond the Legion system, the fights are absolutely huge. You're fighting hundreds of enemies coming at you at the same time at any given point, so it's going to be pure chaos.
Yeah, I've seen a couple clips in trailers and developer updates that you guys have done where just the enemies running at you just seems like it's exceeding anything that it's ever exceeded before in the game, and it looks just insane.
We have been upgrading our engine and tech for quite some time. So it's always like that, our tech guys and our programming wizards do some things that allow us to push the envelope even further. And then we push it to 11, so they have to optimize back, and we have more place to place more enemies. Let's do it. So I think, what Dennis said, this is probably our biggest game so far in terms of basically everything. The enemy count, the enemies, the weapons, the systems that he introduced, and it's...
Now, you mentioned the kind of size of the game. I mean, from a story perspective, how long of a game can players look forward to?
So we've got, internally when we were doing the testing, it's anywhere between 10 to 12 hours, I guess, for a first playthrough. If you're doing some exploring a bit and kind of playing through side activities that we have. With that being said, Serious Sam is a really linear game, so it doesn't go way beyond or way below. I'd say between 10 to 12 hours for an average player.
Will the game feature multiplayer?
Yes, they will be actually cooperative. We have supported at the start, actually on initial release, we'll support cooperative play for up to 4 players. And we've been known to support cooperative play ever since the first encounter. So and that was when we looked at the statistics, we get some data from the actual players, and we saw the statistics, and out of all the multiplayer modes, the cooperative was the most played. So it made sense to have it on release. And for the other modes, we'll definitely do updates, and follow up and work more on the game. But we'll see the request. We always listen to our fans in the community. We'll see if there's anything they want first in line, so we can do it quickly and we'll accommodate.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a place, especially with a game like this, for a mode that, one player spawns all the enemies and they try to kill the other player. I think that would be really sick in this game, especially when you're talking about the size of the battlefield and how quickly you could kind of be overwhelmed in this game. I mean, it definitely would lead to a very unique multiplayer experience.
Well, we had a survival mode in our Serious Sam 3 game. So what you're saying is basically a little mod of survival mode where one player is controlling the enemy army and the other one is controlling the player. And we had some talks actually about that same exact system. But as I say, it will depend, on the acceptance of the game and what the fans will want. We're making game for us, but we're also making game for fans, and then we listen to them.
In regards to how the game will be running, I mean, is it going to be running 4K? Is that what it's going to be at?
If you're talking about Stadia, then yes, it's going to be 4K. We've been doing some testing recently, kind of wrapping it all up, and it's really good. I mean, I'm enjoying it quite a bit, I can say, on both Stadia and PC. So. Yeah.
A little background story for the audience watching. We all got in touch because of the trailer you guys did for the Popemobile, which, I mean, kudos to you guys because it's one of the most ridiculous and funny things that I've seen in a while from a game. And, when I thought about Serious Sam, I was like, I didn't expect to see the Popemobile turning into a gigantic mech, and it's just awesome, and it fits the game. Are there going to be more surprises like that in the game that we can look forward to?
Yeah, we will have quite a few surprises, but ever since Serious Sam 2, we had these vehicles, in Serious Sam 2, and then in Serious Sam 3, he just went on foot everywhere, so we decided to bring back the vehicles, but improve them. And mech, we can say that mech is one of those vehicles. There will be some more crazy stuff here, which... like the Great Combine, who you can use to mow down the crazy amounts of enemies on the field. So, and some new tips and party tricks that we are preparing, for release. But
For sure. One of my favorite things about the Serious Sam series is the progression of weapons. Once you think you've mastered one gun, you get introduced to another one that makes you feel infinitely more powerful. Do the two of you have a favorite weapon to use in Serious Sam 4?
Well, the Serious M4 weapons they received quite a significant upgrade. Now you can actually upgrade your weapons for the first time in the series. You can go solve some of the optional missions. As Danny said, the game is pretty linear, but there are optional missions that bring you certain rewards. And we decided to give weapon upgrades as a reward to players who complete these missions. These side missions are usually more difficult, than the main path in the story, but reward is pretty much worth it because with these modifications to the weapons, you can adopt a new play style. There is like one of my favorites for this episode are homing rockets, for the rocket launcher. I love them. They're following enemies. It looks fantastic and they're really great visually and auditory, and it's really fun to use them. And I don't know, Danny, which one is your favorite?
I mean, from the basic weapons, I guess my favorite is the auto shotgun, just because of the pure power it possesses. So you can basically mow down anything in front of you, and I've always been a shotgun man. But as far as the upgrades you mentioned goes, I think I like the laser upgrade most. So we have this laser weapon, which is pretty much a regular laser like the ones you'd see in Star Wars, I guess. But with an upgrade, it gets this alternative fire mode where you fire a huge beam. I like to call it a beam of death. And it literally destroys everything in front of it. So that's my favorite part. It also has a really good sound effect and kind of, visually is really nice. So when you turn it on, when you're in a bit of a pickle, and then you don't know if you're gonna survive, just press that button, everything goes.
That's awesome. That's all. Now, does each weapon have can you comment on the fact of whether is it 2 upgrades per weapon, is it 3 upgrades, or does it vary from weapon to weapon?
It's actually 1 upgrade per weapon,
okay.
And it's also not for all weapons. So only the weapons which we thought made sense get upgrades. So you won't see upgrades for every weapon, and it's also a really simple thing. It's actually an attachment. So maybe calling it an upgrade is kind of misleading in a way. It's an attachment. So you pick it up. It attaches to your weapon and it gives it extra features. It's not like you're kind of crafting or anything of the sorts. It's really simple, as Serious Sam should be.
I mean, I think you hit it on the head right there with how simple Serious Sam should be. It's like a game like this, I just want to jump in and cause chaos and blow up some enemies. I mean, you don't want to kind of overcomplicate it from that perspective. So yeah, kudos to you guys. I did some research and I kind of want to test the internet a little bit, and that's something we do on the show. Is I went to the Croteam Wikipedia page, and everybody knows, of course, Wikipedia is either 100% correct or it's just completely out there. So I wanted to run some things past you if you guys don't mind. Croteam, they say it was founded in 1993. Is that correct?
We're still arguing here.
Yeah. So it is and it isn't at the same time.
Yeah, it should be around 1993. We've settled in the end, for the 1993, but our CEO sometimes comes and says it was 1992, but he lets us go with 1993. But honestly, we are more than 8 years old, We're one of the long surviving studios, and it's even bigger miracle that we are residing in Croatia. Back in the 90s, this country was in the middle of aggression. We had a war here, and just the fact that we managed to do something, during that time period is a pure miracle. Not to mention that releasing Serious Sam game, getting GameSpot's Game of the Year award, which was huge for us. It just shows that hard work eventually pays off.
100%. Yeah.
So let's say the fact 1993. Let's stick with it. We won't change it anymore. So
the next one is the first game the studio created was Football Glory for the Amiga.
That's pretty
It's the
much
first
correct.
big one, yeah.
Okay.
It's the first big one. Croteam has created some smaller games before, but our breakout game was for Google Glory.
Okay.
Have you played anything on Amiga?
No, I mean we have the National Video Game Museum up in Dallas, and that was my first
Museum.
introduction to the Amiga. So I had to go to a museum to experience it, unfortunately.
You remind me how old I am. You know.
Well, we can correlate because I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and I was like, "Yeah, the N64," and they're like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh my
Oh
god."
my god.
Yeah. The next question was: the studio was founded by 6 friends who were making games out of a garage.
Well, when you say garage, it's basically someone's spare bedroom, or you know, it's called garage development, but it doesn't necessarily needs to be in a garage. But yeah, back in the 90s, you know, it was just a band of friends, so you couldn't rent an office space like we have now, you know. So they mostly we rented like cheap flats that were usually on top of the building, you know, the topmost floor with no AC conditioning. So during the summer there were like a few guys there in shorts, you know, nothing else, sweating, programming. I mean, there was a certain charm, you know, but now we have a proper studio here, you know, and it's easier, it's more comfy, and yeah, it's easier to work now.
Now, of the 6 founders, are all 6 of them still with the company?
No, actually, one left. He went to Google Stadia team, so he's working with the Stadia team, doing an awesome job, what I heard. But the rest of the guys are still here. And we even have some people, I mean, I joined in 1999, so I wasn't there at the beginning, but we have some really, I won't say old, I'll say senior veterans.
Yeah, senior's the much more
Senior
appropriate
citizens, senior veterans who've been with this company for decades, you know, and it's like a big family here. It's we mingle after the work, you know, we visit each other's homes, our families know they are acquainted, you know, we do how do you call team building stuff occasionally, you know, and it's like a rock band, a bit of the relaxed atmosphere, you know. It's
awesome.
not uptight. It's quite a very, very friendly place to work.
So with almost 30 years of experience, you know, I mean, we're talking about the Amiga to now developing games for like an environment like Stadia, which is cloud-based. I mean, can you touch on how that changes things for your company?
The thing with us is we're not only a game development company, we're a tech company. So our guys are really excited about trying out new technologies and playing around with them. So when we first figured out that the streaming would be the next big thing, I'm super sorry.
Oh no, you're good. With everything going on in the world, this is normal, man. It's not a big deal.
So when we first realized that the streaming could be the next big thing, we were first to jump on. So we wanted to experience what it is, playing and developing for it. And so far, it's been really great. We've been having so much fun making games like this because we actually believe that this could be the future of it. It may not be at this point, but pretty soon I'm sure we'll get to there where the average consumer would actually exclusively stream games and play them.
For sure. I mean, and what's interesting enough is I was looking at the approved countries for Google Stadia, and Croatia's not on there. So you guys are some of the first people to use Stadia in Croatia, correct?
Yeah, this is true.
So did they send you guys, I mean, dev kits, or are you guys still running it through the cloud from that perspective?
It's through the cloud.
Okay, very cool. Well, guys, my final question is, if people want to find more information about Serious Sam, where should they go?
I mean, our socials are always super active. We also have a really big Discord where we actually mingle with the fans a lot. So we hang around with them, answer their questions. So I guess we're all around.
Well, to everyone watching at home, thank you again so much for watching us. And don't forget, Serious Sam will be launching on September 24th, 2020 for Google Stadia and Steam. Hey, thanks again for checking out our channel. Are you like the thousands of people in the comment section down below wondering why does this channel have so little subscribers? Well, you can fix that today by subscribing to the channel, liking the video, commenting, and sharing it with your friends, which I know sounds like a lot, but I feel like our channel is worth it.